All right, this is the TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. Matt wants to talk about Top Gun Maverick. Was my show not good enough?
Oh, my gosh, dude. Hey, I'll say this.
No, Top Gun Maverick was just that good.
When you try to recreate an absolute classic decades later, it never works. I mean, you remember Dumb and Dumber? They did the actual Dumb and Dumber, not the prequels. But
right.
I was excited, and I was like, nah. I mean, you kind of fell flat. A lot of these do. Maverick?
If
y'all
you haven't seen it,
Yeah,
if
I've
you
seen
haven't
it.
seen
It's
it
great.
in theaters, go do that. It is amazing.
Such a good movie.
And it is definitely a theater movie. You want it
No
with the
doubt.
surround
Yeah,
sound.
yeah.
You
The
want it with
sound. Yeah,
I
it's
told
amazing.
my wife, somebody remembered how to make a summer movie. and a guy from the 80s. It took Tom Cruise from the 80s, right?
Yeah,
to make a
that's it.
summer movie.
All right, today on the TexAgs Rewind, no Top Gun really, but we got it here. We got That's Bullcrap with Stephen McGee. We got Billy Liucci on the A&M Hall of Fame inductees. I don't know, do you guys know Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans, Luke Jokel? Those are some
Going
pretty
in.
big-
Those are some big names.
Some pretty big names. We got John Scheschuk from the 1999 Texas A&M baseball team talking College World Series, and then we've got the Fan Show.
Speaking of bullcrap would have been Steve McGee's golf game this weekend.
Ouch! Shots fired. Watch the rewind. McGee, what is El Toro de Caca?
So the government is just absolute reluctance to pump domestic oil. It's what people are referring to as the new ivermectin. You can't have it because it would resolve the current crisis, and they need all of us to go through the inflation crisis. Oh, sorry, is that political? Let me do my actual bullcrap. My actual bullcrap is the CFA tour, PGA tour situation, all the drama. Like all these guys just keep talking about it. Like Rory and Justin Thomas, like, hey, look, I know that you don't like the situation, but the more you talk about it, guess what happens? It's actually pumping the CFA tour. Like, it's great for them. This drama that if they would just not even talk about it, they would just go play golf, it would kind of go away quietly.
Kind of go away. I think the big thing with that, if it clearly is bothering these guys some.
Yeah.
At this point, at this point they're showing up to play the majors, so just beat them. Don't let them win.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to be locked in. Don't let one of those guys that are playing on that tour win a major. If you guys are trying to stay where they are, don't let them win a major.
I agree with you on that. That would be real bad for the PGA Tour right now.
Now, just for the casual fan, oh boy, wouldn't it be crazy after all this if Phil finally won his first U.S. Open? The perennial runner-up at the U.S. Open finally cashes in that silver for gold.
What were the odds on Phil this week? It was like you put down 400 on Phil and you win like 50K.
I thought it was
80K.
80. I saw the same bet. I think that you did. Some guy put 400, and I'm like, man, do I got $400? Because that might just be worth it just to see. My bull crap, A&M baseball in the College World Series, and from everything that I've been able to see, it looks like they're still banning bubble machines in Omaha. So when the Aggies score runs, I think you can still take your little manual bubble wands and blow some bubbles, but not the onslaught of bubbles that you see at Olsen Field at Blue Bell Park when A&M scores a run. It's going to be muted due to the weird policy of you can't take bubble machines, but we're going to let that one guy from Vanderbilt whistle for 4 hours.
Oh gosh,
It's bad.
That's almost as bad as a cowbell, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think they let cowbells in there either. So
Thank
at
goodness.
least they're kind of consistent. But boy, you're
Can you
right.
take Pringles cans in?
I hope so. I saw your tweet yesterday, and I know that you were fired up about the 2022 Texas A&M Athletics Hall of Fame class, including Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans, and Luke Jokel.
Yeah, I mean, and Jokel doesn't get talked about enough. The guy's so quiet. You know, he's up there just making money and working hard up in Dallas. And I know some guys that know him professionally, love him just like we all did here when he's playing. One of the low-key funniest dudes that's come through. I mean, he's got the kind of sense of humor I appreciate, Dalton, where he just doesn't have to act like a clown, and he's funny as hell. Like, it's just low-key. He's pretty hilarious, but also an incredible football player at A&M. So people forget, like, he and Jake Matthews and Richmond Webb, to me, and there's been a lot of great ones. And I didn't see Webby, but I just know him, so I've learned a lot about him. I've taken it upon myself to just kind of understand why he should be in the Hall of Fame. But that's probably the three best that have come through here up front. I mean, and maybe, yeah, I think so. And there's a lot of really good ones, but those guys, Richmond and now Jake, what they've done in the pros. But at Texas A&M, man, Luke Joeckel was the number 2 pick in the draft. And that was based on how he played at A&M. He was incredible for his final 2 years. Started as a true freshman and was good then. But one of the all-time technicians. And then Johnny, I don't think anything needs to be said. He was the first ballot. I think he should be a first ballot Cotton Bowl Hall of Famer, too. I don't know when they're going to do that, but that's got to happen fairly soon as well for as magnificent as he was in his one trip to that game. So that's a no-brainer. And then Mike Evans. First of all, I think Johnny and Mike need to go in together, no matter what, right? I mean, that's perfect. Good on the voters to make that happen. That was really, I think, that's fitting that those two go in together. It's going to be a really cool night for them. They're still close. A great deal of mutual respect there and that friendship. So I love the fact that those three from that special team are going in first ballot, because sometimes, and I get it, there's probably a couple guys that have been waiting, or girls that have been waiting and didn't get in as a result, and that sucks. I get you have to cap, Hall of Fame inductions, otherwise it would get crazy. So it's a process. It's tough in every sport, so why not do the same at A&M? So it was really, that's how dominant they were, though, Dalton, that they just kind of stepped in and stepped to the front of the line. And another one that made me feel really good to see was Bernard King. Aggie basketball got really good kind of right after Bernard King left. And they were really good for a few years under Billy Clyde, and they were pretty dang good under Turgeon for a few years. And then they went to two Sweet 16s under Kennedy, and we've got guys like Caruso and Chris and, maybe Robert Williams, winning NBA world titles. And we've got, the future under Buzz looks really bright. Bernard King was a player that should have been on some of those teams. Like, I wish he could have had a couple of years under Billy Gillespie like AC Law did, because he directly preceded. It was Bernard, not directly, it was Bernard, and it was Antoine Wright, who had 1 year under BCG and thrived and turned into a lottery pick. And then it went to AC, and the whole thing really took off. So Bernard was there on some really bad teams. He was just an incredible scorer and fun to watch when there wasn't a whole lot of fun to watch.
I want to turn back the clock a little bit. All right, 23 years ago, it's the summer of '99. I know during 2020, during the summer, we did that reunion with you and a bunch of guys from the '99 team. But how much fun is it as a college baseball player to make the trip to Omaha, Nebraska, and what's it like just being there in that environment?
Well, first off, man, you had to remind me of how long ago it was, Dalton. You can't do that.
You want me to follow it up with tell you how old I am? Because that won't make you feel good either.
No, don't do that either. But it is an incredible event. I've been to TD Ameritrade, and obviously I've been to the old Rosenblatt Stadium, played in that one. But it's just a wholesome event. The fans there are fantastic. The whole community supports it. Now there's a lot more corporate involvement with it. It's become a bigger event overall. But the city of Omaha just does a first-class job. I'm so glad that the tournament's held there year after year. These kids are going to get treated as well as they've ever been treated, and they've already been treated good because they're playing at Texas A&M. But they're about to go into an environment that's as close to the major leagues as they're going to see until they get there. So what an event. It's an amazing experience. I'll never forget it personally. And I'm just really happy for Texas A&M and Coach Schloss and the whole staff and all these kids that get a chance to do that.
I know it's a little bit different from the old Rosenblatt to now playing at Charles Schwab Field there in downtown. But what's that environment like? I know you guys played in great environments. We talk about Olsen Field. But is it different on the field looking up and seeing at a park like that as a first baseman or a guy on the field?
Yeah, sorry about the name change there. I was thinking.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it is different from the perspective of it's just a bigger stadium, gosh, I don't know how many it holds. What does it hold? 25,000 or so. So it's just a bigger stadium. But these guys are playing in environments every week now to where I don't think it's as much of a reach. Back when I was playing, of course, we had A&M in Texas and some of the bigger stadiums with good crowds, but there were a lot of stadiums that had smaller crowds. So some of these teams would qualify for Omaha, and it was the first time they played in front of, that kind of crowd and that kind of stadium, and that was a pretty big jump. But I think now these kids are so used to playing in big-time environments, there's not as much of a leap. And like I've heard some of the Aggie baseball guys talk about, it's just another baseball tournament. And once, the team can calm down and just begin to play baseball and stay within themselves, they should be just fine.
John, do you have a memory from 99, something that sticks out that, you look back on today and still makes you smile when you and the guys were in Omaha?
Oh, I have tons of them. I think generally speaking, it was just being with guys that I really cared about and liked, and I knew how hard we had worked to get there. That's probably the overarching theme for me. But yeah, going out there and seeing Harold Reynolds and being out there with our staff and our fans and our team, it was just an incredible experience overall. I remember signing autographs for many, many, many kids. That was cool. But yeah, it's just the whole thing. There's not one thing I can point to say that this was the best. It was really an incredible experience and something I'll never forget.
This is a ball. This is so fun for all of us. Everyone's enjoying it. This team is one of those teams. It's similar to, it honestly kind of reminds me of our basketball team. That basketball team this year was so fun to watch. There was something about that team that just endured you to them. And the baseball team even more so, just because they're still on the path to the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And it's one of those deals where you sit there and you look at it. We're down 2-3 runs whenever at any point, and you're like, this game's not over. We're going to come back and win this game.
They do not quit.
We've got that confidence in them. You're talking everything from an offensive standpoint. When you start with Moss all the way through Klotch, you've got guys are gonna be big time. You don't worry about that group. You start with Warner. If Warner, I know he struggled with injuries, but he's coming around. He's the most prototypical MLBer. He's got all the potential there. And then you've got towards the end of the lineup, those guys, Minnick playing good defense and hitting, and just the whole team all together is a blast to watch. They're a team that you want to cheer for, and they are in Omaha. And we've got 4 SEC West teams in there, 2 of our least favorite teams of all time, and then who doesn't like beating Notre Dame and Stanford? Those pompous butts. So to go to and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I just want to stomp an absolute mud hole in Texas if we can get a chance to. I want to just destroy their worlds. And so from a fan standpoint, this is a great lineup. I think the team to watch is Arkansas. I think they're the most talented team of the group. So, but hopefully we can just keep on trucking. That's it.
Absolutely, Lee. What's on your
mind?
What
a great spring to be an A&M fan, right?
Yeah.
You get. You start off with golf and tennis, and you got baseball and basketball, and this team has endeared itself, right, to the fans. Mm-hmm. Did you see the turnout the other day for when they're leaving? There's hundreds of people out there watching this team leave, and the team responds to fans. That's the really cool thing. But my thing this morning is, why not us?
Yeah.
Why not the Texas Aggies winning this tournament? Mm-hmm. My goodness, what have they not done to convince people at this point? They've won, nine of their SEC weekends. They were the winner in the weekend.
Yeah.
They won the 3-game series.
They haven't lost a weekend since the first weekend of April.
Yeah.
You count the SEC tournament, they got to the single elimination, then lost, but they went 2-1. They went 3-0 on regional weekend. They went 2-0 on super regional weekend. Mm-hmm. So even if you play again, it's a win. They haven't lost since the beginning of April. It's incredible to watch.
Everybody's pointing to the pitching, but I want to point out something about the pitching. If you look Schloss has gotten really good at pairing two of those guys to really make a starting pitcher, right?
Yeah.
He's pairing Moo and Det, and then he's pairing Dallas and Palish together. And what we're getting is a 7-inning outing out of two guys, and then we're turning it over to Brad Rudis. Who thought Brad Rudis was going to be the closer for this team? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a great story. This team's a great story. I am in love with him. I cannot miss a pitch on this World Series weekend.
All right, that'll do it for the TexAgs Rewind. We got one more with me, and then all you guys that like Nuno, he'll be back. Thanks to the fan show, guys, for coming in. You guys know what we want to tell people to do after they watch this video?
Like and subscribe.
There you go.
Share
it.
Tell your friends. Call your
friends,
mom.
comment.
Call
Yeah.
your aunt. Call
Everything.
your sister. Don't hit the mic.
Sorry.
Careful.
My bad. I
That'll
got
do
really
it for the
excited.
TexAgs Rewind.